When you play the Game of Thrones,
Subscribe and like.
you die. There is no middle ground.
All right, let's move on to the Sons of the Harpy. So the Sons of the Harpy, very interesting organization. It seems to me, if I was based on like the information we know right now, I would assume they're being funded by the other slave cities, the nobles. I think just the higher class, just in general, of Meereen. Because I think about this for a second. If Meereen is this city that's built upon slavery, doesn't have a lot of natural resources and things like that, well, when you take that thing away, think about the nobility, think about the higher class. All those people are going to have gotten their wealth and their influence because of slavery. So when you take that thing away, what does that do? And so that's where the Sons of the Harpy comes from. It's, you have nobility probably paying for people that can't get any money or are desperate, or maybe they believe in this cause of slavery and they're going out, they're killing people and all this stuff. And the question kind of becomes is like, who is necessarily in charge? I think based upon the way we see the Green Grace's influence, it's probably her. You look at the symbolism of the Harpy being, you know, more of a female thing. I think it makes a lot of sense. And it also perfectly ties into Daenerys' story as well. Daenerys constantly throughout all of the books is very trustful of women and not so much of men. That's just how it's been. The big one really is Mirri Maz Duur. She's one of the best antagonists for Daenerys in the entire series. And so you think about that. You think about the way that Daenerys really trusted Mirri Maz Duur, how that went really bad. You see how Daenerys is doing the exact same thing with the Green Grace, even though she has no reason to do so. The Green Grace constantly seems to be undermining her or kind of like talking down to her. You even think about Barristan when he talks to Mirri Maz Duur. It's almost the same thing. It's like this passive aggressive tone that the Mirri Maz Duur is saying, oh yeah, I'm on your side, I'm trying to help you and all this, but at the same time just like, but I'm not going to. Like, you're kind of being stupid without saying you're stupid. That's the vibe I get from Mirri Maz Duur. And so when you take a look at the symbolism, you take a look at the way that we've seen the character so far interact with characters like Barristan and Daenerys, you look at the motivation that Mirri Maz Duur would have, it all seems to line up. You think about how Mirri Maz Duur was the one pushing for his Dar become basically Daenerys' husband and basically king or king regent, whatever you want to say on that idea. You look at, you know, Reznak as well, kind of feasting into that, right? Having the same kind of ideology that the Green Grace seems to have. It all kind of points to that. So where do we see the Sons of the Harpy then going in the future, right? What does this all mean? You know, it's great and all to say that the Sons of the Harpy is being funded by these people and that, you know, their top leaders are these people and all that. That's fine. But what is their actual goal going to be, or what is their outcome going to be? And I think that the Sons of the Harpy are going to be in a kind of a tough situation after the Battle of Fire, because I think a lot of the Slayer forces will be defeated. I think Barristan will be, for the most part, victorious. It all lines up to them winning. Given what Victarion's doing, given Barristan's charges, given the slave soldiers are chained together and they just don't seem to be anywhere near the forces that Barristan has with the Unsullied, everything points to this idea that the slavers are going to lose the battle. So, okay, you have that part of it. Now, the other part of it is the Sons of the Harpy aren't going to be able to run free, right? You're also going to have the Shave Pate with the Brazen Beast as well. And they're going to stand in stark opposition to the Sons of the Harpy, given the fact that they have two completely different ideologies. Like I talked about with Skahaz and Reznak are almost the figureheads for the different ideologies at play, right? The new ideology, the new wave coming in, the slaves being freed, letting them take more power and kind of throwing down all the nobility that is keeping them down, more or less. On the other side of it, you have the nobility who they're trying to keep the old customs. They're trying to keep everything that they have done beforehand, right? They're trying to keep their culture alive, more or less, whether that's a good or a bad thing. Obviously, it's a bad thing because of slavery, but to them, either, you know, good or bad. But with that being said, I think that's what really we're going to see Winds of Winter being about. The Sons of the Harpy will be destroyed by the end of the book. They have to be. Now, part of that I think is going to be Tyrion trying to figure out how to get rid of them, figuring out what motivates them, figuring out how to stop them. I think that is going to be his real big thing of the book. Now, the thing I think is very interesting about Tyrion is, in the past, we've seen him as somebody that tries in his best. Like, you see, when he's ruling in Clash of Kings, he tries to do what's best for the people. And that doesn't necessarily lead to good things for him personally. He feels betrayed by the people, right? As he's condemned for Joffrey's death. And here, we could see some of that play out differently. Tyrion could be much more, how would I say this, almost cruel or savage to stopping the Sons of the Harpy. And maybe that's what needs to be done. Daenerys very much took the peaceful route. She, tried her best. But maybe that's not going to be able to work. Maybe to overthrow this old system that is continuing to kind of pester Daenerys and her new, freedom that she's trying to bring. Maybe you're going to need to see the dark before you see the light. All I know is the Sons of the Harpy are going to be cooked one way or another. Dragonfire, most likely. Definitely could be. But I don't know, though, because I don't think that's necessarily going to stop them. Like, how do you kill this, seems like network, right, of spies and of people? I think personally it's going to be Tyrion almost doing some Maegor the Cruel actions, right, where he's basically targeting out the religious people. I think we're going to see a lot of Tyrion doing that. The thing with Dany that we see her struggling with in Book 5 is that she is, if you want to say in a political sense, she's a moderate. She's trying to be very moderate. She's trying to, on one hand, bring in this wave of freedom, but at the same time, keep enough of the culture from the past alive so that she doesn't piss off the rich, the nobility, the old school class of Meereen. And so you have that part of it. And so you have that Daenerys is kind of being pulled to both sides, and it's just ripping her apart. This isn't the way that she needs to rule, more or less. And so what I could very easily see is Tyrion comes in and has to do, get in the mud, get dirty, and trying to stop the Sons of the Harpy. I think their inevitable fate will be with Daenerys, because of course that's going to be tied into it. I think Daenerys very easily could be involved with maybe another battle of Meereen with the Volantis fleet at the very end of maybe not the very end, but the second half, right? As Dany is starting to leave Meereen and then go to Westeros. I don't know. I think they'll be tied together. So I think the inevitable fate of the Sons of the Harpy will be a combination of Tyrion and also Daenerys. I think it'll be interesting to see how Barristan and Tyrion kind of fight for power, because I think that's going to be something that will be apparent. Those two trying to fight for influence and trying to rule the city. Yeah. Also, you got to think about Tyrion as well. He's trying to get in Daenerys' good graces as well. And so what better way than to have the Sons of the Harpy, for the most part, neutered by the time she gets back? That could be something as well.